Hello everyone. I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today we are going to talk about the problem with parasocial relationships. So for those of y'all that may not know, a parasocial relationship is, for instance, the relationship that you as a fan have with a celebrity. So it's the idea of that, let's say there's a celebrity and they make posts online talking to their fans en masse in general, saying, well, I really appreciate the support that y'all give for me and, whatever it is the thing the celebrity does, whether they're a movie star or they're a musician or whatever. I couldn't be here without y'all. I'm so appreciative, blah, blah, blah. And it's the fans supporting that celebrity and that celebrity then acknowledging their fans and that they are where they are because of their fans, supporting them and their work, and da-da-da. That's what a parasocial relationship is, in that it is a one-sided relationship where the fan follows what the celebrity does. They know a lot about the celebrity, but the celebrity does not personally know these fans, does not have a personal relationship with these fans. That is what a parasocial relationship is. And unfortunately, in today's world of small-time celebrities, content creators and public figures, people who are in creative positions such as being authors, that parasocial relationship can really have the lines blurred with all of the expectations that fans have today because of social media. I truly do blame the pandemic for this absolute breakdown in boundaries, in that social media got way more personalized, and those boundaries with parasocial relationships honestly became kind of non-existent during the pandemic because everyone was so desperate for human interaction, and social media was really the main place to be able to go to get it because we couldn't do stuff in person. And unfortunately, that hasn't really evolved since then. People expect these personalized experiences with these celebrities and content creators. It is so overwhelming and invasive and sometimes actually dangerous, the level of entitlement that these fans and even just people interacting with these people on the internet can have. So I'm going to give an example of this that I personally ran into recently, which was just honestly a crazy bananas situation, and it was just so silly and so ridiculous. But of course, there are other examples that I'm going to give where it can show just how dangerous these breakdowns and boundaries can be. So both Neil and I post across social media to promote our works, whether that be our books, our gaming guides, our podcasts, our YouTube channels, whatever, just all of the works that we do. We have to post diligently across social media every single day in order to get those reads, those views, those sales, in order for us to pay our bills. One of the big platforms that we do this on is Reddit. Reddit gives us a lot of engagement, and we get a lot of views, reads, sales, etc. directly because of Reddit, which is really great. The problem is Reddit is also the most problematic platform that we have to regularly deal with. The people on there tend to be honestly just off the rails for whatever reason. And there was one in particular where Neil was posting about our latest project together, the Alice Files YouTube channel. It is an Alice in Wonderland cyberpunk audio drama that Neil and I are doing together. We are sharing the work together. He's writing a lot of the scripts, and we're both doing the voice acting. We're both doing a lot of the video editing and the sound editing. I'm also doing readings of the Alice in Wonderland stories and putting those up as audio dramas. It's a lot of work, and we're doing a lot of promoting because the YouTube channel is fairly new. We just released it this year, so it's just been a lot to build up this brand, which means that we're posting it a lot on Reddit. And on one of these days, we had some, rando commenter, as they do, comment on it. But this person was mad in particular that Neil had just posted the latest episode that we put out. And because we post hundreds of things every day, we comment, there's so many comments coming in. You don't necessarily always see every comment. And not only that, platforms nowadays, for whatever reason, are guilty of, they don't show you the notifications for every comment and message that you get. And if you don't go back and go looking for them, you're not going to necessarily see them. And that's what happened here, is that this person commented a question on this post about the latest episode that we put out. And Neil didn't see it, and Neil didn't get a notification for it. And he had already like commented to like answer some of the other comments that were on this post because he did see the notifications for those. He didn't see just this one singular comment, which like, okay, I'm sorry, is this your first time in the internet thinking that everyone ever has to respond to every single comment that they get ever? No, that's not how the internet works, but this person apparently thought that it did, and they got really angry and started like going on a screed in the comments and in Neil's DMs, yelling at him for not answering their question. This is also a question that could have been answered if they just watched the video. Like, that's the dumbest part of it. It's like, you would have had your question answered if you just watched the video, and we know you didn't watch the video because otherwise your question would have been answered. Both of us explained to them, like, hey, we didn't see this question. Sorry. And this person said something that was just so ironic, but I am going to use this going forward because it is ingenious. They just completely used it to shoot themselves in the foot. It was kind of poetic, honestly. Is they were saying that us not answering their particular comment was shown as apathy toward the community, which we had to explain to them, sweetheart, you're not part of the community. The community are the fans who are invested in the thing, our YouTube channel, in this case. If you're not invested in the YouTube channel, you're not a part of the community for the YouTube channel. Therefore, we're not being apathetic toward you. You're just some rando. You're not supporting the channel. You're not supporting us. Get out of here with this nonsense. And their response to that was that we are confusing interaction for community engagement. And what was ironic about it is that's what they were doing. They were confusing us responding to some rando comment, which is just interaction, as community engagement, which is what we get with the comments on the actual YouTube videos where people are watching the video and they're engaging with it and they're saying, oh my god, I love what you did with blah 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 character. Oh my god, that was such a twist ending. I can't wait to see what happens next. That's engagement. Interaction is just this person leaving a rando comment that adds nothing to the conversation and then acting butthurt and entitled about it. That's confusing interaction with engagement. And I feel like that's overall the problem with these breakdowns in parasocial relationships in today's world on the internet is that these people, not even fans, these people are confusing interaction with community engagement, meaning that they are confusing interacting with a content creator or a celebrity or whatever with actual engagement. Like, this content creator or the celebrity like cares about you personally. And that's really what this breakdown in boundaries is that these randos on the internet have reached a level of entitlement where they think that everyone needs to care about their thoughts and opinions and treat them like we're all here to be best friends and braid our hair and sing kumbaya together. And that's just not how anything works. To give a more extreme example of this breakdown in parasocial relationships is that last year there was an author event that unfortunately ended very badly with some of the authors and the professional cosplayers there getting sexually harassed by the readers that attended that event. Specifically, there were some readers that just absolutely crossed the line with that because of the adult nature of the content in the books, and this was also an adult themed event. It was an 18 plus kink event, basically, where, you know, it was highlighting these like kinky dark like romance novels. So it was very much like an adult themed event. But even at adult themed events, like, consent is still a thing. You can't just do whatever. You still need consent. There are still boundaries. Yes, we can be sexy, but like, you have to get permission to be sexy with somebody, kind of thing. And they weren't doing that. So there were authors where readers would come up to their booth and ask them very inappropriate questions, would try to touch them inappropriately, and after the signings were over and everybody was kind of mingling, people were inappropriately grabbing authors and like grabbing body parts and like demanding authors like come back to their hotel room with them. And there was a professional cosplayer who was hired to be there to be one of the like eye candy people like roaming around for this event. hired by the event, was assaulted by a group of readers. Like, he was assaulted, y'all. Like, they, like, did harm to him. They, like, he has PTSD from this. It's really sad. Like, seeing his posts about it were heartbreaking, y'all. And it's because they didn't see him as a real person anymore, because he was dressed up as one of these characters from one of these books, and they just saw him as that character, and they just assumed, because you're dressed as this character and you're here at this event, I can just do this to you. And that's an extreme version of this parasocial relationship breakdown, when the boundaries are just thrown out the window, where people confuse this access for interaction and engagement. That just because you have access to me doesn't mean you're allowed to just do whatever you want. And so this idea of just because we have an interaction, this access, does not mean that you get to have, like, real-time, real people engagement with me. So that would be like, to give another example, we're here having a one-sided relationship. I'm recording this video right now, but y'all are watching the finished product. Y'all are watching me on your phone or your iPad or your computer or whatever. I'm not actually talking to you real time. This is a recorded video. I can't see anyone who's watching this video. I don't know who the people are that are watching this video. I don't know anything about you, the viewer, or, you know, anybody who, like, leaves comments on this video after the fact. And this confusion of access, that just because you are watching this video of me talking about a subject, confusing that access with that, then that means that you're allowed to have personal engagement with me. So that would be you, the viewer, watching this video thinking that then it's suddenly okay to go into my DMs and demand that I, like, go hang out with you. I know it sounds silly, but, like, this is how some of these people think, that the level of entitlement and the level of access and engagement that they demand is just wild, y'all. This is a big part of the reason that a lot of authors are pulling out of doing in-person events now. And I talk about that in my video about how me and Neil are pulling out of basically all of our events for the foreseeable future, with just a handful that we'll go to, is beyond the financial and beyond, like, other circumstances we have going on. It's also the problem of this breakdown in boundaries and people just not knowing how to behave. And I also have a video about that, with, like, some of my top WTF interactions that I've had with people at events where people just behave terribly. And I have far more stories than what were in that particular video, of people just thinking that it's okay to do absolutely bonkers things just because I'm dressed like this, or because I'm an author at an event. They think that entitles them to all sorts of things. And while in an online-only space, they don't have physical access to me, they can still demand a level of access where they get upset if I don't respond to a comment, or I don't respond to a DM, or I don't respond the way they want me to, or I don't share a level of content that they want. Because in the past, I have gotten people who have demanded that I release more personal information about myself and about my daily life, and I'm just not going to. Like, I have people who get upset that I don't, like, do tours of my living space, or, like, you know, I don't give an inside look of, like, can you do a live stream of you working actively on a novel? No, I'm not giving you access to that kind of stuff. That is my personal boundary, and no, you cannot cross it, and no amount of screed entitlement is going to change that. And so this is a big problem that a lot of authors have been facing, and this is unfortunately a growing issue for newbie authors who don't realize that you are allowed to say no, that not only is this inappropriate, but that you're allowed to say no. And so a lot of authors are getting taken advantage of. A lot of authors are just sharing too much personal information. A lot of authors are, like, then having just as swing back of a reaction from this, escaping from public eye, of like no longer going to public events and things because they've been taken advantage of, because they feel uncomfortable with the level of entitlement and demands put upon them. And that hurts everybody because, unfortunately, it is a very loud minority. The majority of people that I interact with are wonderful. The majority of my readers are wonderful and they're respectful. They know how this game works, that it is a parasocial relationship. We are not actually bestest friends. We don't actually know each other. You just really love my books, and I appreciate that you really love my books. That is a parasocial relationship. It should be treated as special. If you get to have more, not than just the boundaries of a parasocial relationship, anything over that line should be treated as special. And the fact that nowadays it's treated as, well, I'm entitled to that. And that's where the breakdown is. So I hope y'all found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.